But
I
also,
think what's
I just
really,
wanna- sorry,
but
I just want to add something quickly to what Bobby said. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna let you finish.
No. I'm gonna let Heather go too. Go, Heather. Go.
I just wanted to
with you.
say to Bobby that, you know what? When you say that statistic, I've always looked at the other way around. I've always thought, oh my God, for such a small percentage of the population, African Americans have done so much for America. They've done so much sports, music, arts, even in the world of synthetics, like they're African American inventors who I wrote a play about one. Who,
Here we go.
Real McCall.
Little
I know,
plug.
exactly. Who
I
helped
need a
with-
new toy for those ones.
Politics. There are a lot of
We will.
black politicians who are doing very well. I mean,
Yeah, scientists, you name it. There's so many African Americans, and it's not just true of African Americans, of course, but there are so many who have done so much to shape what America is.
Didn't they have a president?
So powerful. Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
If only we could go back to those days.
Yeah.
Like,
so
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Heather
When
was
you're
going to
talking
make a
about
point.
elections,
yes, Heather, sorry.
Yeah.
That's Heather,
So
it's not
what I
meritocracy.
was gonna
Give
talk
Heather a
about-
shot.
Yeah, thanks. What I was going to talk about was the fact that we kind of have this two-faced coin with social media, right? So on the
Right.
one hand, because we have social media, things can go viral to support movements, like when injustice happens for Black Lives Matters. Any like when you're talking about the thing that happened in Red Deer, that until it went viral, not a really big issue. Oh, it went viral, we better do something about it. Fantastic, but it's also if you get caught. So if you're a person in power who gets caught doing something and it goes viral, you're usually screwed, except for Trump, who has admitted to doing any number of things. Like you'd figure that for your average person, Joe Biden, if he had basically said that he had grabbed women by the pussy, he would not have gotten elected, right? It wouldn't have happened.
Point blank.
Trump is Teflon and nothing sticks to him. But you also have, with this incredible media, the social media, you have this way to basically clump together with your tribe, right? So if you're a left-wing liberal, you can clump together with all those other left-wing liberals, and you're feeding yourself this information all the time. If you're a right-wing redneck, you can do that as well. So it's very difficult, and because of all of the typing that happens on social media, where you're getting fed all of these in your little filter bubble, you're getting all this information. So you keep getting fed the things that you already think are true, as opposed to getting fed something like, I had talked a little bit to Andrew about this, like in 2016 when Trump got elected, I woke up horrified, but then so, okay, there's a bigger problem here when half of the voters voted for him. And even friggin' Rob Reiner was talking about, like, when they did their Princess Bride reunion, he basically said, it's coming to the point for another civil war in the United States, because they have these two factions who are so opposed to each other's ideals. And yet, when you're talking to individuals, when you're talking to, the guy down the street who you're friends with, and this guy, and as long as you're not specifically, aligning yourself with one party or the other, because those are really the only options. Even if you're an independent in the States, it means nothing. Like you don't fall within those camps. You're either a Democrat or you're Republican. We as Canadians don't have that because it's a little broader in Canada, where we find that we end up having to vote strategically, because boy, if you're an NDP supporter but they're not going to win and you're right, you better vote Liberal.
Right.
So still skew things to your way of thinking, right? So you've got kind of factions, and it's.
Can I add just one quick point? I don't know if human beings negotiate with what they can crush, right?
Mm-hmm.
A negotiation happens with threat, a potential threat. So you negotiate your way, right, to either genociding each other or to a compromise.
Right.
Black folk, and there's an interesting historical point around the success of the civil rights movement in the States, starting in the 50s, because there's been all kinds of civil rights movements in the States. They've always been crushed. There was a decolonialization period where the Russians and the Americans were going toe-to-toe around establishing power in these decolonialized nations in Africa and Asia. And the Russians were going full bore on, oh, they're talking about democracy, bringing you democracy. Look what they're doing to these Black people in the South. And there was a concerted effort by the powers that be in the States at that point to say, well, we got to change the game up. There is no longer a Russia to compete against the Americans on that level. So